On the morning of the 17th of the 7th, 2025, I seen a Brocken Spectre and morning glory. A Brocken Spectre is the magnified shadow of an observer cast upon any type of cloud or mist, opposite a strong light source. A morning glory is one or more concentric coloured rings that surround the shadow of the observer's head. It is caused by sunlight interacting with tiny spherical water droplets that are formed by the mist or clouds. There is a one-to-one correspondence between each observer and the rings of light. If a group of observers observe a glory, each person will see the rings only around his or her own head. I believe the individual nature of this interaction represents something fundamental in the dynamics of the universe. The Brocken Spectre and morning glory inspired Charles Thomson Rees Wilson to build the first cloud chamber. He wanted to see if it was possible to create a morning glory artificially in the lab. What he found was that the cloud chamber allowed for the study of subatomic particles. In the long term, this led to a connection between several seemingly unrelated areas within physics, with rainbows and glories being observed in atomic, molecular, and nuclear scattering experiments. This points towards a universal process, with the spherical geometry that we have in water droplets also being at the atomic level, with the atoms forming the wave-particle duality of matter and light of the electromagnetic spectrum. There is a saying in physics. They say there is a rainbow everywhere. But for there to be a rainbow everywhere, there has to also be spherical geometry to break the spectrum of light into different wavelengths of color. In this theory, the electron sphere that surrounds the atomic nucleus forms the spherical geometry that interacts with the electromagnetic light waves. The light waves also have spherical geometry based on Huygens' principle of 1670 that says every point on a wavefront has the potential for a new spherical wave. Each point represents a potential light-photon-electron interaction. When there is the absorption and emission of light, the energy levels cannot drop below the atomic nucleus. We have to square the radius because the process is relative to the center of the sphere, formed by the nucleus of the atom and the spherical surface. Geometrically, this forms the golden rectangle on each side of the square relative to the radius and the spherical surface. In this way, the absorption and emission of light photon energy forms the A and B of the golden ratio. This geometrical process also forms the golden angle, 137.5. The same geometry can be seen in rainbows with what is called the rainbow ray or rainbow angle that resonates on either side of 138 degrees. In this theory, we have a self-organizing process based on spherical symmetry forming and breaking, formed by the wave-particle duality of light and matter in the form of electrons. When light waves are absorbed and re-emitted, it forms particle characteristics in the form of photon energy. Within such a process of energy exchange, we have a photon-electron interaction between each cause and effect, between each action and reaction, forming greater degrees of freedom for statistical entropy and what we perceive as time. We have an emergent probabilistic future continuously unfolding with the spontaneous absorption and emission of photon energy. But the future is not totally uncertain because the golden ratio is built into the process. Therefore we see rainbows in the sky and morning glories in the mist.